Hello guys, I wanted to talk with you today about Texas anti-censorship bill HB 20 and the nice little big tech lobbying firms such as the Computer and Communications Industry Association, or the CCIA, as well as NetChoice, and how these companies, these lobbying firms, are going up against, they're demanding an audience with the Supreme Court on behalf of big tech companies such as Google, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. So all the big social media firms, essentially, those are just the big names. There's probably many more, but they've hired these little companies, the CCIA and NetChoice, and these lobbying firms are speaking on behalf and getting an audience with our Supreme Court and pushing the Supreme Court to get federal judges to block this anti-censorship measure. So the CCIA, that's again the Computer and Communications Industry Association, as well as NetChoice, they have filed emergency requests with the U.S. Supreme Court in which they are going to get that audience. So these lobbying groups, that's what they do. They're paid out by massive corporations that they represent, and then they go and they demand and they seek and they push for an audience with the Supreme Court. They build those relationships, and they get in the ear of federal judges who are undemocratically appointed, by the way, of course, because we elect the president, and then the president then appoints these judges. You know, the Supreme Court is secretly the most undemocratic branch and the most powerful branch in our government. So the Supreme Court getting lobbied in this way is pretty scary, because these guys, once you do your homework and you get their respect and you gain their leverage, you can twist their arm, as these lobbying firms are attempting to do, and force their hand on blocking the bill. Some of these justices are going to be here. Some of the members of the Supreme Court are going to be here for decades, going further decades. You know, so if you get on the good side, if you get on the good side of, let's say, Amy Coney Barrett, or Amy Coney Barrett, that one Supreme Court justice who Trump elected, I believe, to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You get on her good side, she's what, in her 40s, early 50s? She could be a Supreme Court justice for another 30 years, 40 years even. So you get on her good side. So if you cover your grounds in the Supreme Court as far as lobbying goes, it could be highly more effective than any of the actual democratic branches of government, such as the legislative, that's Congress, or executive, the presidency. So these lobbyists, they know what they're doing, and they're representing companies like Google, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and they are saying, okay, so what is Texas HB 20 and what does it do? Texas HB 20, which was reinstated last Wednesday after previously being blocked the year before by a federal judge. It makes it illegal for social media platforms with over 50 million U.S. voters to block, ban, remove, deplatform, or demonetize user accounts based on their political views. And a similar bill was attempted in Florida last year, as well as in Ohio this year. Ohio had passed in their house a bill that was almost verbatim to what I'm seeing here, the 50 million accounts thing, which specifically applies to larger tech companies, larger social media companies, and also allowing citizens an avenue, a legal recourse to sue a social media company based on a perceived, bias against their political view. And of course, what should we be doing always? What should any tech company be doing? There should be a pretty strict, pretty specific standard for censorship, and it really boils it down to, it's really quite simple. Is it illegal? is it illegal in the U.S. Constitution, which is protected under the First Amendment? And in almost all these cases, no. Unless you're calling for acts of violence towards a specific group of people or person, or you are making open and specific threats towards someone, you're constantly threatening someone. There's very specific things that are illegal speech, and that is calls for violence and threats, basically. Violence and threats. It's pretty specific. You're not supposed to call for violence, and you're not supposed to make threats. And even some of that, I would question, is that even really respected? I mean, even that should be protected speech, because honestly, can you really hurt someone with your words? Can you really hurt someone with your violence? Maybe so, but is it? But not really. I mean, like, do the words themselves actually hurt someone? That's what you got to ask. Do the words themselves actually hurt someone? Of course they don't. My words can't harm a person. Sure, they can hurt their feelings, but my words can't kill somebody. I can't kill someone with my words. My words are not a gun. My words are not a knife. It's absurd. But that's where I would stand on it. And anyway, so you got these so basically it's we're seeing these tech companies, and they're lobbying, and they're hiring these lobbyists to mess with Congress, to get in their ear, and it's working because Congress has been regularly blocking these bills which are similar. We've seen these similar bills in Texas, Ohio, Florida, which is no surprise that it's all happening in those states. These states have relatively similar politics in a lot of ways, especially Florida and Ohio, I would say. So yeah, we're seeing them lobbying our highest forms of government. They have, these tech companies like Google, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. They have, especially TikTok, because they're not even American, they're Chinese. These companies have no regard for our legal system. They have no regard for democracy. These are authoritarian, fascist companies that only mean to subjugate us and advertise to us, and then take our information that they give us a toy, they give us this entertainment for free, and then we become their product. They sell us and our information, our user activity, to more corporations who are just going to advertise and send the products, attempt to sell the products to you. So these companies need to be regulated. These companies need to be broken up. We need to see some real antitrust action in this country. Thank you.